neighbors, please don't hide. Come on out and join our side. Neighbors, please don't hide. Come on out and join our side. Neighbors, please don't hide. Come on out and join our side.
James, we got to change the law. CNX has got to go. CNX 4. This is what was on 4325 Chestnut. This is where the church was located, where they want to build a 7-story building with many apartments. On this pole right here, we have a photograph of a model shot of the building that they want to put on the former church lot. 7-story building with 278 apartments with only 54 parking spaces. All of this under CNX 4 zoning. This was our community garden. Almost everybody in the neighborhood grew vegetables here. And the house on the left, Mrs. Adams lives there. A beautiful house with stained glass windows. Now you can see how the lot looks right now. They took the garden out, they took this house down. They didn't even save the stained glass windows, like they didn't save the stained glass windows in the church that was across the street. This is only 40 feet from my house. The big lot where the church was is 50 feet from my house. So you're going to have a 5-story building put here, and at the church lot, a 7-story building put. There was a brick sidewalk here, beautiful old bricks, and they just tore them up and replaced it with asphalt. And they didn't even use rollers to put it here. They just dumped it and shoveled it in with shovels. Here we have this structure which looks like a fire escape, but it's not a fire escape, in which he had falsified the plans to build. The garbage cans are underneath this structure, and the air conditioning unit is on it. If it's a fire in the air conditioning unit or in the garbage underneath, that's going to go up and burn the whole building down.
Make America affordable again!
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Gentrification has got to go!
Okay, so what's going on with Scotty?
Well, I've talked to him a little bit, and he told me that he grew up in the house over there. Last time I saw him, it was in the evening. I was walking past, and he was sitting there out on the porch with his dogs, sweating. He had clearly been out there, and he didn't have anywhere else to go. He was just sitting on the porch, and the dogs were barking because they were scared, I assume. He was, when I started talking to him, it was clear that I mean, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it seems like this has been destroying his life. He was so happy to just have somebody to talk to about it, because I don't think that anybody seems to care about the people who lived here right now. My name is Jus. I'm a concerned neighbor.
Why is she in that house? Because they put her there?
They told her under the conditions that they become partners with 4209 and Filbert. They become partners, joint partners. They'll fix up pro bono. They will fix up both houses.
That's what the developer or the contractor said here. Okay.
And they would put her in one, and they would sell the other and give her the proceeds, which was a ripoff, $187,000 they said they would give her that she hasn't received yet.
So I live down at the end of the block, and I was in the hospital for about 3-4 weeks, and then I came out of the hospital, back in the ER for 3 days in a row, getting cast twice in a row. And I went in to pay my landlord, and my property manager that I had known for the last couple of years of living here had quit her job, or as they said, left. And there was a new property company that had bought up the building that I'm living in. And so I asked, you know, are you going to be raising the ranch? Are you going to be selling the building? What's going on? Because you can see what's going on in this whole neighborhood. And they said, oh, no, we're not doing that. But what does that mean, really? Because are they telling anybody here that they're doing that to their buildings? During the time I was hospitalized, which was 3 weeks, I had seen my property manager before because the cost of my medication had gone up so much. And she said, anything, we'd be happy to help. We're a human person. I came out of the hospital after 3 weeks and then a weekend of being in and out of the ER. And there was an entire new property management company running the place, and my property manager was gone. And their story for that was that she had just quit. So.
Here we have a member of my church's house, Elaine Nelson, and construction is going on next to her house. And when she opened her back door, there was nothing but a 30-foot drop. Her whole walkway fell into the hole, and now she sees this concrete building. When she comes out of her house, she's going to look straight up to nothing but a concrete wall. And the other day, one of the members of my church, who is Hispanic, overheard the workers here bad-mouthing her to her face, but in the language. And she was so upset. They were cutting concrete, dust was everywhere, and they weren't watering it down. So you can see how the back of her house is destroying the character of our neighborhood. And I say that because the City Planning Commission said the new development should not affect the character of the neighborhood. Over here, across the street next to this building, multi-story building, are several lots that they've combined to build another multi-story building across 44th Street. There are 15 developments going up within 4 blocks. There are 15 developments going up within 4 blocks. There are 15 developments going up within 4 blocks. There are 15 developments going up within 4 blocks. There are 15 developments going up within 4 blocks. There's not a single African-American family left on my block. And what they're replacing the neighbors with is these multi-story luxury apartments. And people are indeed losing their homes.
Neighbors, we so high. Come on out and join our side. Neighbors, we so high. Come on out and join our side. Join our side and fight gentrification. Fight displacement.
Yes.
Fight the right to live in this neighborhood where most of us have lived here all our lives.
I'm supposed to build a 6-story building with 18 units. I don't know how LNI approved that. The zoning is CMF3. Only allows to build 5-story building. And they get some kind of bonus.
Called the Netherlands Apartments. The tenants were middle and low income people, and they were all put out, and now they're converting the entire building. It covers from 43rd to 44th and Chestnut Street into luxury apartments. So again, we have people are being displaced. According to the New York Times, they're given Section 8 vouchers, and there's not enough houses to meet the demand. So many people who've been displaced have had to go into shelters, even with Section 8 vouchers in their hands.
West Philadelphians for progressive planning and preservation.
And you know, it's just a consequence of gentrification that we're seeing more and more people pass through where we're giving out food, and we're seeing the food go fast.
Scott J. Hudson, the narrative of this story is I used to live here, and I was actually thrusted out of this property by a contractor that wanted to buy the property, and the sale lingered on for months, and to the point where we were actually forced to move to storage area to put our stuff in, and I had to relinquish my dogs due to the fact of this matter. They're presently in shelter. I don't know whether they're going to be put to sleep or not, and one is out here running the street somewhere. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But we were kicked out of this home, me and my mother, Janice Hudson, and she's presently with her sisters. I'm with a neighbor in an uncomfortable situation, and it's just not fair. It's totally not fair. And I told them from the forefront of the deal that somebody's going to be homeless, and that someone is me. That's my story.
Fight against the overdevelopment of all urban areas across this nation. People, Americans, are being displaced and losing their homes.